새롭게를 선도하는 국내 유망 기업과 인물을 만나보는 프론티어 인터뷰 시간입니다. 오늘은 4세대 퍼블릭 체인을 이끌어갈 벨락스의 알렉산드로프 CEO 모시고 말씀 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. Hello, welcome to the show. It's nice to meet you. Please introduce yourself to our viewers.
My name is Alexandrov. I'm the founder and CEO of Coin Payments, and also founder and CEO of Velas AG, which is based out of Switzerland, Zug to be particular.
Okay. It's really nice to meet you, and I
Likewise.
think your popularity in blockchain industry is really huge.
Yeah,
I think this is the reason that the coin payment is quite influential to our viewers and any other industry. Since coin payment is leading the development of Velas, it would be nice to talk about CoinPay in order to understand Velas.
Sure. Coin Payments started in 2013 as the first in the world altcoin payment processor. We're now the largest in our space, servicing over 1,500 different coins, and we have close to 3 million customers. So we've grown quite a bit. We have a lot of customers in Korea, so it's a really big market and really big focus for us as well as on the side of a business on coin payments. Velas' connection to coin payments was that we actually rewarded all coin payments users with some coins in CPS coin, which was the original token that we created on CIS blockchain. We're really good friends with the guys at CIS blockchain, supporters of what they're doing. But at some point, we realized we wanted to do something bigger than just being a token on top of a blockchain. And so we decided to start working on Velas, which is virtual expanding learning autonomous system, or a blockchain that works with artificial intuition. And so we started that project and connected our user base and built a community out of our user base of coin payments to basically bootstrap the project called Velas.
Okay, I see. Then in terms of cryptocurrency payments, coin payment is proud of its leading position and technology in industry. And would you tell us about your know-how to our viewers?
Yeah, so the know-how of what we've done actually is, like I said earlier, connecting blockchain with artificial intuition. Why that's so exciting, in my opinion, personally, is all blockchains do a pretty good job of keeping data immutable and protected because it's decentralized. However, the governance of all blockchains still relies on people. They have to vote, they have to update things, they have to agree on the speed of the blockchain, the size of the blocks, and scalability concerns. So we have this issue that's prohibiting some of the older blockchains like Bitcoin from scaling up because people just can't agree on things sometimes. So by combining artificial intuition, I feel like we've solved that problem because now blockchain can make decisions for itself that are best for the network and can't be influenced by people. People can only demand things of the blockchain, and it will do it. So that seems like a lot better solution than arguing with each other.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Right.
And about coin payment and Velas, I want to ask you about the relationship between each other and how can I use it?
Right. So coin payment is quite easy to use. Think of us as a PayPal, PayPal for cryptocurrencies. So if you have a store online or you want to buy and sell something, or even if you just have a coffee shop and you want to accept payments, you can just sign up, just email address and a password, and you can start taking payments instantly. With Velas, you can actually use Coin Payments wallet, or you can go to velas.com and you can open a new wallet. If you want to purchase Velas, you can go to bw.com, exx.com. We're right now in talks of getting listed on 6 other exchanges. I'm not at liberty to talk about them yet, but within the next week, all of this is going to be announced. I just don't want to upset any of my partners, right, and say that too early, as excited as I am. But essentially, we do have some Korean exchanges that are going to come online as well. But just to get involved in the community, you just open a wallet at velas.com. It's free. It takes, I don't know, 30 seconds. I
see. Then we would like to listen to the story of the project. What is Velas? Okay,
so Velas is, it's a solution to the current problem that all blockchains are facing, in my opinion. And those problems are quite big. So one of them is centralization. A lot of blockchains centralize at the point of mining. So miners pool together in the mining pools, and then there's less and less of them, and they become quite skewed towards certain geographical locations, and then they have too much power there as a result of it. Proof of stake coins end up also concentrating with people who are committing with really big money into the blockchain, and they don't always act in the best interest. So centralization eventually leads to problems because you have governance issues. The next problem in blockchains is that in order to create adoption, fees need to be very low or non-existent. And the reason why fees exist on all the blockchains is to prevent people from sending too many messages or doing attacks on the network by making them expensive. Now, it makes sense in a traditional blockchain because there's no way to punish or stop somebody from doing whatever they want in an open system. However, the third problem is also it's how do you select people who make the decisions on the network and who become the nodes, so to speak, right? So we've solved all three of them, in my opinion. So the first one is how do you select the nodes? Is blockchain picks who is best for the network because artificial intuition can see that. Okay, you're always online, your computer is fast, you have good connection, and you're in the geographical location where transactions are happening. So you're a node. Somebody else somewhere in a different area has lower criteria than you to get lower score. However, if the transactions start to happen in that area, the artificial intuition might switch you and derank you and put somebody else in charge because it's more efficient in that area for them to be a node. So even though you have more coins and other criteria, it will always make decisions based on what's at the given moment is better for the network. Now, as far as the fees, because we have artificial intuition, it can work as a defense mechanism or immune system on the network. If it sees somebody doing something that slows down any of the parameters of the network or causing harm, as it would see to its organism, it could just block those transactions and not put them on a network. And you don't have to punish everybody like traditional blockchains and make them pay fees so that bad players don't do something stupid, right? And then centralization of mining, as well as fixed by the fact that you don't even, in a full beta version of the coin, you don't even need to have coins in your possession. You can just qualify by offering either space or a speed of your computer or bandwidth or uptime or reliability, and you can still be a block producer. And you can't just come in with a lot of money and take control over the network because the network still has to decide if it likes you or not. So it's a relationship-based thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And as you told us before at the previous question, I want to ask you one more time, what is the problem you're trying to solve?
Oh, well, those are the three that I just mentioned. And the main one, I think, with the containers that we also introduced, which is quite a revolutionary concept, that allows other blockchains, coins, to be deposited into Velas wallet. Now, the problem we're solving is for custody, for wallets, and for exchanges, essentially. So instead of running go back to coin payments as one of my other businesses, and we run about 1,500 coins. And some of them are tokens, but a lot of them are native blockchains. It's very expensive and takes a lot of time to run each wallet. And you have to update them, you have to maintain them. There's a lot of involvement. So if you had a Velas wallet and you had a containerized system, in the future you'll be able to install it, check off whatever coins you want to receive, and just run one wallet instead of 200, 300. And so the staff requirement goes down, the amount of time spent, security practices, all that can be enhanced just focusing on one wallet. So it's good for custody solution, it's for banks, it's good for exchanges. And then also, because of the containers, you're now sending coins that are coming from other blockchains onto our blockchain at the speed of 30,000 transactions a second, which Bitcoin runs at about 10 minutes per block. The speed, so you're accelerating quite a bit, and instead of doing Lightning layer 2 protocol and trusting somebody to run that node, you're actually going off-chain on another chain solution, which is a lot better, and it creates a unification for the whole ecosystem.
Okay, then what is the scope of AI in Velas, and what is the role?
Right, so yeah, AI does quite a lot in our system. The main thing is it analyzes current activity flows. It doesn't really know what people are doing or machines or whatever is using the network. It basically works like a human brain in a sense. When you do an activity, your neural pathways will line up, and the more you do it, the more your neurons will align themselves to make that activity easier for you next time.
Yes.
So artificial intuition on a network will do the same thing. It will have predictive modeling and understand that okay, so during 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock a.m. London time, there's the highest peak time in the network. So during that time, the network at 8:30 will activate more nodes in that region. And, and it will allow people in that region to make more blocks, and it will speed up the block production time to address that. and it will just organically balance itself right after that peak hour is finished back to where it needs to be. So you'll be able to dynamically adjust its resources. And the reason why that's important is that the blockchains get huge in size when they run really fast. And good example is Ethereum. Their blockchain is quite large at size now to download and sync a full node.
Yes, it is.
And so the reason for that is it's running at consistent speed, and a lot of data is being stored in it. So if I was able to kind of self-adjust on the fly when it's not needed, it does save some time, save some space, and save some resources required when it's not being used. And we can do that because artificial intelligence can actually detect these things and adjust them. In traditional blockchains, people have to vote for everything. And so you could never have such a quick response because you have to collect votes, organize them, and you can't expect of nodes or block producers to be this present on the network because people sleep, they eat, they get tired, they get sick. Machines don't. So artificial intuition in our blockchain makes blockchain, quite amazing actually.
Okay. Then what are the uses of Velas blockchain? For the users?
Sure, yeah. So the main usage are transfer of value of any sort, right? Or you're able to transact in any information that you'd like to do for your project. So you can use it for pretty much anything you use traditional blockchains. So one of the discussions I just had a meeting with the Ukrainian president in New York. Just flew in back from there, and one of the discussions we're having there is switching voting system in Ukraine, national elections, to the blockchain system. So that way everybody can see their vote on the blockchain, knows that it wasn't faked, and it's one of the most important parts of democracy, right? And it's our right to vote. And so knowing that your vote is counted properly, I think it's a huge thing. It avoids. And it eliminates a lot of questions about corruption and any kind of meddling that we keep hearing about in the United States and things like that. So Velas can be used for that, and we're actually in discussions to do that over there and other governments right now at the same time. But that's just one use case. Another use case, logistical things. So like when people transporting goods and services, when somebody produced meat in a healthy way and it's organic and it's basically it can be tracked from the moment of the farm that it left to the slaughterhouse to when the sausage is in your fridge, and then that that's the same meat, right? Those tracking things are quite amazing, and they can be built on a blockchain. So Velas can be used for anything where blockchain is applicable. However, now you have more stability, more scalability, and access to more tools than any other blockchain.
Okay, that's really amazing.
Yeah.
Then I'm curious, how Velas strategy in being developed since now?
Sure, the strategy for development. Yeah, so I guess you're asking me about more of a roadmap and what right, yeah. So currently, we're at the pre-alpha stage of the network. So we're working right now on building the stability and getting nodes up and running so that once it's robust enough and it's stable enough, we can roll out the containers. The reason for that, containers will allow other coins to live on our network. And some of these coins are really valuable, like Bitcoin, So we want to make sure that the network is robust and powerful enough and stable enough before we allow such features, because we wouldn't want to take a risk and harm in any way our customers, especially financially, right, in case this is an issue. So that's pre-alpha stage. At an alpha stage, we will roll out containers, and we're going to start rolling out smart contracts and artificial intuition. At the current stage, artificial intuition is learning from the network activity. And this is one of the reasons why I'm here and I'm traveling and encouraging people to start using our network, because the more they use it right now, the easier it will be for us to train and model out the artificial intuition at the launch of alpha version, which will speed up the whole process and help us get to the end goal a lot quicker. So if you're at home watching this, please use Velas right now, send it, receive it, try playing with it, because it will help us train the artificial intelligence faster.
Okay, and you told us about the roadmaps, and I'm curious about what are you focusing on now?
So right now we're focusing on training the artificial intuition. It's a big job. We've done some tests in our own live environments and simulations, and it's one thing, but it's very different from when you go into real production. And it's pretty much impossible to predict people's behavior on the blockchain when you first started because it's just so chaotic.
Okay. Then, what are some of the strengths or the differences of Velas?
So the difference between other blockchains and us, so one, we support containers, which will be active soon, which will allow receiving and sending of other cryptocurrencies in and out of our chain, which kind of becomes what I call the browser for other blockchains. So you can build smart contracts based on containers of anything you want. You can also send and receive them in private and public mode, which basically makes every coin Monero if you choose to. For privacy-centric people, it's it's a very big feature, especially if you want to hold your funds long-term and you don't necessarily want to be seen on a blockchain that you're a long-term holder of large amount. For some people like myself, I don't really necessarily like people know how many Bitcoins I have because it's just a safety issue, right? And so it's the same thing for a lot of early adopters, and I think that they're going to find that very interesting. Another thing is, again, artificial intuition. Instead of just mining SHA-256, X11, or Script, or any of those protocols, just basically heating up the planet for no real reason, the way we solve this problem is we use delegated and delegated proof of stake, which is essentially you contribute your computation power to help optimize neural network of artificial intuition from which we all benefit and can be used in other projects, not just in Velas. So by participating and giving you computation power, you're actually doing a service to humanity versus just running endless computation for no reason.
Okay. Then let's take a moment to talk about your partnerships in now.
Sure, yeah. So one of the big ones that I'm really excited about is Mind AI. So Paul, Josh, good friends of mine, we spent a lot of time in Korea last year. I think I was here just short of 2 months. And then we've traveled around together, kind of meeting different places in the world. When you're in blockchain, it's funny where you meet people, you're always on the plane, right? So we travel quite a bit and we become really good friends. And one of the things that they're doing is they're building artificial intelligence. And they've been working on it for about 11 years, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 12 now, actually. And they're building their artificial intelligence on top of Velas network. So Velas network, it's going to be where artificial intelligence entropy, which is the data that it uses to learn and understand its reality, will be stored as a backup. So that way we can kind of use it as a fail-safe and a check for everything that it's doing by dumping it on Velas network. And our nodes will have an opportunity to also offer storage and get rewarded for it additionally through a Mind AI sidechain that is going to be activated sometime in 2020. And so long-term goal, and that's kind of, it's not exactly in our roadmap yet, but it's something since a few weeks ago we've been continuously talking about these things, and we're kind of fantasizing how we want to change the world. One of the things that came up, we just realized that we could do is we could feed the data from artificial intuition into artificial intelligence machine, and then it could make the decisions that artificial intuition cannot further, and actually further develop the blockchain and help even write its own code. But that is, getting into realm of fantasy that's actually getting pretty real now. So we'll see how that goes, but that actually really excites me, and we're really exploring that right now, because if that works, this is going to be even more amazing than I ever thought.
Okay, that sounds really amazing. Okay, then what will the new blockchain ecosystem look like through Velas?
Well, it's the ecosystem that is alive. It is the ecosystem that thinks for itself, adjusts to what people need without necessarily knowing what you're doing. It doesn't really care. It's kind of like I said, like your brain. If you grab something from the table many times, you're going to do it faster and faster and more efficiency. So that's what the network does. So the more people use it, the faster it will become. Whatever people use on it, it will adjust to it. So once we launch it to where it will be in 5 years, it's hard to predict, and it's exciting because it will do its own thing.
Yes.
Quite literally.
Yes, it is. Okay, thank you for being together today.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
네, 지금까지 벨라스의 알렉산드로프 CEO와 함께했습니다. 오늘 나와주셔서 고맙습니다. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.